welcome to the Indicator Warehouse. In this video, I'm going to show you the new Ultimate RSI tool from Indicator Warehouse. The Ultimate RSI really is the Ultimate RSI. It has every feature, every option available to those of you trading the RSI indicator. RSI is an indicator developed by a fellow by the name of Welles Wilder. And Welles Wilder developed the RSI as a means of getting a feel for what the market is doing. RSI is notoriously good at picking up the pulse of the market. It actually, in a way, allows you to look behind the scenes to see what other traders are thinking about a market and what other traders are doing about the market. The nice thing about RSI is that it is truly a universal indicator. It will work on any chart style, it will work in any time frame, and there's multiple ways to use this particular tool. I'm going to show you a few of them, and I'm going to show you a simple way of how you can trade RSI as well. Now, when you first put the Ultimate RSI indicator on your chart, you're going to see it looks like this, and it's going to print some buy and sell arrows and markers on your chart, and overall everything's going to look a little bit busy. Not to worry, it only looks that way because everything is turned on. All the different options of the Ultimate RSI indicator are on. So let's go here. I'm going to give you a real quick rundown of some of the features available with this tool. First off, you're going to notice that there are 3 different calculations for RSI. Versus the RSI that comes stock with NinjaTrader. Here you get a Cutler's, you get the Wilder's, and you get the exponential calculation. So all of them a little bit different, all of them calculating the relative strength of the market differently. You're also able to customize your period, and a lot of people like to use an average for RSI also. They like to trade a crossover. In this case, you can see the average is displayed by a series of dots and the RSI is displayed by a series of lines. So if you were trading a crossover, you might consider buying when the RSI line crossed over the average. And vice versa, you may consider covering or selling when once again the line crosses the average. You're also able to set emails alerts, and you're able to set what generates your buy and sell signals. Is it going to be the RSI? Is it going to be the average? Or if you don't want any of the signals to print, you can turn that off right here as well. Calculate bar on close is turned off. So in other words, you're going to get real-time calculation. This is very helpful when you're using RSI intraday. You don't have to wait for that bar to finish. You can actually see how the RSI is responding while the market is trading. A few other features here. There's an audio alert for a central line crossover. A lot of RSI traders like to use that 50% center line as a basis point for initiating signals. And then the rest of the RSI indicator down here has to do with the cosmetics, the background colors, the central line colors. Here's our overbought, oversold line colors and our midline colors. So you can adjust all these, whatever you want. You can send yourself email alerts, perhaps to your telephone if you're going to be away from your computer for a little while. The stock overbought and oversold settings are set at 80 and 20. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the traditional overbought, oversold settings for RSI, which is 70 and 30. And then you can see we've also got background colors for overbought background, oversold background. You can control the opacity of the background highlight, OS and OB markers, so overbought, oversold markers. These display on your chart. These are the little triangles that print if the market is overbought, oversold. So if you choose to reduce the indicator, or if you simply just want to concentrate on the price action, you can also get that information directly on your chart. Again, very helpful if you're trading intraday and the market is unfolding real time. You can get a series of audio and email alerts, as well as a pop-up alert. And once again, a little bit more cosmetics. You can control the color of your markers and you can control your background colors. So all these things fully adjustable. Like I said, it's a little bit overwhelming when you first put it on because all the indicators are turned on. But let me make a couple modifications here, and I'm going to be right back, and I'm going to show you a couple very interesting ways that you can trade RSI. All right, now let me show you a very simple way to trade RSI, and it's surprisingly effective. What I've done here with the Ultimate RSI, I've just made a couple of slight changes. First off, I've changed from the Cutlers to the exponential version. I've changed my RSI period to 50. I've changed my average to 1, which essentially means my average is going to shadow my RSI line. And I've changed my signal basis from the RSI, which has all these extra background highlights, to none. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to just be interested in the crossover. I'm just interested in where the RSI crosses over the 50% level. That's the midline. All right, all the other colors can stay the same. I've changed my overbought, oversold levels to 70 and 30 respectively. And before I leave this, let me throw just a very basic, simple moving average line on here. And I'm also going to give it a 50 value. So we're going to be looking for crossovers where the RSI and the moving average line coincide. So for instance, right back here we have one. We have the moving average crossover, and we're also generating an RSI crossover. Notice we get the little warning triangle here. That's generated by the Ultimate RSI Indicator. And we also got the background highlight, and you can see that, yes, indeed, this is where the RSI dipped below the 50% level and prices closed below the 50% level. So what you would do is you would actually take a look at shorting the market on a move lower from there. And you can see that had a very nice follow through. And then down here, the market starts to get a little bit oversold, and you start getting some warning signals that perhaps a reversal might be pending, and of course eventually the market starts going the other way. So a very simple way to trade the RSI, and you can do this with any market. Let's take a look here at crude oil. We'll take a look at crude oil here. Once again, the market closed below the 50%, or pardon me, below the 50 moving average. Also closed below the 50 line on the RSI, generated our little triangle, and there is another very nice sell signal. And just look at that. Look at that follow through. Here we're starting to generate some oversold situations where suggesting the market might reverse. And then just recently here, we've crossed over to the other side, closed above above the 50 moving average and above the 50% line on the Ultimate RSI Indicator, also generating a buy signal. So if you had followed that, you would now currently be long on crude oil. Let's take a look at Google for those of you interested in the stock market. Let's see, this is Google on the hourly chart, and it looks like we had the market produce a signal right here, the Ultimate RSI. RSI crossed over the 50% level. The market closed above the 50 moving average line, generating a buy signal for us if the market exceeded that level, which it did the next day. And look at that, a really nice rally to the upside. Here was a short-lived move to the downside. The market crossing the 50 moving average, producing a sell signal. That's our little triangle there, giving you an opportunity to short. RSI also heading lower. And you got a couple days lower before the market started to reverse, and now it's giving you a little bit of heat, so it remains to be seen how that plays out. Let's take a look at the Forex markets for those of you trading Forex. How about the Euro Japanese Yen? And here's the Euro Yen combo on a hourly chart. And you can see not bad. Here we've generated a signal back here. The market closed above the 50 moving average line, also moved above the 50% line on the ultimate RSI indicator, suggesting we would have a buy signal if the market moved higher the next bar, which it did. Very nice follow through there. Where do we have another one? Oh, we had another one right here. So the market moves above the 50 moving average, generates a buy signal as the ultimate RSI also moves above it. Now you can do this for all kinds of time frames. For instance, let's say you wanted to do a 20 moving average and a 20 period on the RSI. The principle remains exactly the same. Things speed up a little bit. You're going to perhaps generate a few more signals, but the principle, like I say, is exactly the same. So you're looking for the market to close above that moving average line, and that move to be confirmed by the RSI, and that gives you buy and sell signals accordingly. And of course, these time frames, the shorter time frame you go, the more of a short-term profit target you're going to have as well. Another nice thing about the RSI is that it opens itself up to all kinds of trading tools. For instance, trend lines work very well on the RSI indicator, and at Indicator Warehouse we actually have a manual available to you, which is a guidebook for how to trade RSI. It's called RSI, the Support and Resistance Trader's Secret Weapon. And it will introduce you to concepts like drawing trend lines on RSI, where we have a trend line right here, and notice where the market breaks on the RSI, prices haven't broken yet. So RSI is actually telling you in advance that the market might be heading higher, and that occurred right about here. So you could have bought into the market right here well before we got that nice big rally, and that's very characteristic of our RSI. I'd like to say that only happens once in a while, but no, it doesn't. It happens all the time. So once you get used to trading RSI, you're really going to wonder how you ever did without it. And the ultimate RSI really is the ultimate RSI. It has all the available features. It has crossover alerts. It has alerts for when the market gets overbought and oversold. It has arrows that will plot on your chart, or if you want to clean up your chart a little bit, as I did here, that's available to you also. And as I mentioned, there's also a lot of trading information about how to trade RSI available at Indicator Warehouse. So there you have it, the ultimate RSI, really a trading tool that no trader should be without. It enables you to see what's going on behind the market, effectively giving you the ability to put your finger on the pulse of the market. And remember, whether you're day trading the E-mini S&P, other futures contracts, stocks, or Forex, Indicator Warehouse will help you get more profit from your online trading and technical analysis efforts. Thanks again for joining us.